Okay, so you can see my screen. Um, so my name is Chris Daly. I've said that before, and I am from InnoPower. InnoPower is an interesting organization in that we are about promoting entrepreneurship and providing opportunities for under-resourced, underserviced individuals, organizations, etc. And so, what we're going to do over the course of the next six sessions, which will be Tuesdays and Thursdays from 6 p.m. your time, Central Time, to 9 to 8 p.m. Central Time. What we're going to do is we're going to introduce the concepts of AI to you. Um, it is a it's a relatively new thing in terms of technology and where it's at. Um, it's really unknown. It's advancing the advances. I'm sure that most of you know this. The advances are so spectacular right now in terms of how far things are moving in, it seems like a matter of days. And so as we go forward, we as participants in this society and this country need to be able to adapt to what's coming. And that's really what this is what we're interested in doing here, or what we're trying to do, is introduce the concepts of AI to you so that you can be prepared as you go forward, because the journey is going to be, it's going to continue to get, like I said, it's going to continue to get faster. So, again, my name's Chris Daly. I've said that now three times. I'll just give you a little background on myself. I am the I am the certified master trainer for InnoPower. It's the organization. The reason I say I'm the master trainer is because we have been in the process of training master trainers, other master trainers, to be able to do this course, because we want to democratize it. We want to give people access. And we want to not only give you access, but we want to give you some instruction and help to get you through the bumps as they occur, as you encounter them as you're going forward in your AI journey. So we've trained 29 people. We started with 50. Life happens. People, other priorities came up. People got, family, summer, vacations, and so we ended up with about 29 that actually are certified master trainers. As part of their obligation, they spent to give you an idea, they had to spend at least 48 hours in class, and then they had to pass a certification test, and they had to train 20 people, 20 other people. And they did that again as part of our Hoosier AI 1000, where we want to go out and train 1,000. Um, Emil Ikior will join us at some point if he's not already here, lurking in the background. And he will tell you that we want to do 10,000 by next summer. That's a pretty big challenge that he's put in front of us. But it's one that's well worth it. I have a lot of experience. As you can tell, I'm a gray hair. I've been around for a long time, mostly in the software, developing software, selling software, having implementing teams, coaching, those kind of things. I have a bachelor's from Ball State. Got a master's from the University of Indianapolis, if that matters. Um, which is, I mean, it's been almost 50 years since I got that. Um, Maybe not 50, 40. But I've been in IT. I joined a company called Blazing Academy back in 2022, and have been with them over the last couple of years. At the end of June, Blazing was rolled under Indiana Wesleyan, and they are figuring out what they're going to do. And so I made a move over to join with InnoPower. We had been working on the Hoosier AI 1000. So I moved over and joined it. I have trained, I was counting it up today. I've trained approximately 200 people in this 24-hour class. Not just a 2 hour training or a 3 hour training, right? Which there's a lot of people running around offering you an hour training or 2 hours of training for free. And I haven't done that. We've wanted to focus, we wanted to get you deeper. We wanted to get you into AI and make it so that it wasn't just you doing parlor tricks, you know, hey, write an email for me, but how you could actually use it to improve your professional your personal career. So that's what we've been really focused on. Let's see, there's some chat. Let me see what's in the chat here real quick. Yes, yes, yes. Thumbs up. Okay. 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 All right, good. So, what I'd like to do now is I would like for you to take yourselves off of, turn your camera on. And what I'd like for you to do is I'd like for you to go around and just really quickly say who you are and what you do for a living and why you're in this class. And we'll start with Denise because she just popped into my Zoom screen.
Hi, I'm Denise Shipglen. I'm from Michigan City, Indiana. I'm the CEO of the MBA of Northwest Indiana, which is the Melanated Business Association. What I do is I help develop entrepreneurs, trying to develop our community one entrepreneur at a time.
Thanks for that,
And I'm in
Denise.
this, and I'm in here to get a better feel. I've been working with AI for about a year, and I think there's more to it than what I'm using it for.
Good. Good. Thanks for that.
Mhm.
B, how about you? Hello, B.
You're muted.
Oh,
Okay.
There you
hello.
go.
My name is Beverly McClellan, and I am the owner and CEO of the Carl Construction Company. I also am the founder of the Midwest Minority Energy Consortium, and we do community education and training in renewable energy. And I think that getting the AI training could be really helpful to us since we are in 3 different states currently. And my
Hmm.
construction company is operating out of Michigan City as well as out of Indianapolis.
Okay. Good. Thank you for that. Emmett, how about you?
Yes, something's wrong with my camera, but
No worries.
I am a personal financial agent. I'm a regional vice president with Primerica, and I'm really doing more investigative to see how does this fit in, because we are a very technological uh, company, and we are in all the technology that helps our businesses. So I'm just doing more investigative, but I'm also deeply involved with the community as a associate minister of our church, and but active in the community for years. So I'm seeing, and I promote everything that's going to help our community get better.
Thank you for that. Let's go with Brian. He popped up on my screen.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Brian Cossey. I am the procurement manager for the Gary Sanitary District to wastewater treatment plant here in Gary. We are the second largest wastewater treatment plant in the state of Indiana, second to Indianapolis. And yeah, I'm looking to get more experience at AI to be able to utilize that to be able to procure and uh, treat our constituents' money better here in this city.
Good. Thanks for that. Kathleen?
Oh, hi.
Hi.
You really don't want to see me right now. Anyway, my name
We
is
see a
Kathleen.
nice picture of your room or something.
Yeah, that's my office that I use for my students. My name is Kathleen Harris. Uh I'm a lot of things. I am an instructor for Southern New Hampshire University. I teach online and I teach healthcare economics, business management strategy in healthcare, and something else. I don't know. And but I also help manage a grant program for parents, teaching them how to be parents here in Gary, Indiana. And I actually work with Emmett. So we go to the same church.
Okay.
And we received this from our pastor to investigate this. I use some AI every day, but I am very interested in how I can expand what I know and use it to decrease the time that I spend doing repetitive work, and also possibly use it for more creative, in a more creative capacity as well. That's it.
Thank you for that. Jerry, you're next.
I'm Jerry Jones. I'm from Michigan City, Indiana, and I'm retired. I've worked, retired from over 30 years in social services and currently serve on the board of several nonprofit organizations in our community and provide a lot of the administrative support to those organizations. And um, many times frustrated in that I'm writing something and then I'll look back at it and see that something has changed the words and created something different. So it's like, let me find out just who this is that's infiltrating all of my work and finding out how to harness it and to see how it can be used to help with the organizations in my community.
Yes, everybody, we're back on the vibe and we have more and more great
Thank you for
products.
that.
We're talking about the little
Wendy, how about you?
I know y'all want to keep your pH balance and
Wendy, you're on mute.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Awesome. My name is Wendy Willis, and I am the president of the Eastport Neighborhood Association in Michigan City, Indiana. I'm also on several boards here as well. I am retired. I'm a career financial services individual. I was a broker for several years and had my own business for 4.5 years. Um, I also am a business owner. My husband and I have a catering business, A&W Catering, and we have a food truck as well. I do have some experience with AI. I've written a couple of grants with it. I just would like to be more proficient in my prompting and my ability to start to move into some of the more creative sides of AI, to create some more if fetching is, is really not the word that I'm looking for some more eye-catching advertisement type material, in addition to doing some more grant writing. So
Okay.
that's kind of where I'm headed with it.
Well, you came to the right place.
Awesome.
Okay, let's see. Who haven't I called on? Called on Brian. How about CJ?
Hey, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Hey, my name is Coleman Johnson. I own a company called CJ Moneyway Entertainment. I run a podcast platform under that called the CJ Moneyway Show. So, and I'm also a published author as well. So I came on to try to learn more, as she said, the prompts and enhance my proficiency better.
Good. Thanks for that. Jerry, Kamisha?
Hello, my name is Kamisha Williams, and I am a program coordinator for Family Advocates in Michigan City. And I'm just here to try and like jump on board. I see where AI is going, and I just don't want to be left behind.
Yeah, I don't think any of us want to do that. And I'll talk about that a little bit um, here as we get going. Let's see who else is in here. So I got Keisha. I got Catherine. How about you? Okay, I don't see Catherine. I see Catherine, but how about Linda? No Linda either. Patron?
Hi, I'm Linda.
Hi, Linda.
Hello. Hi. I'm just trying to find a little bit more about AI. I don't own a company or anything, but I'm very interested in it. I just want to be in touch and want to know where it's going.
Okay, good. Sharon Jones.
Hi, I'm Sharon James. I am a UX designer. I do government contracting. I'm actually in the Washington, D.C. metropolitan area. I'm originally from Chicago, and I am retiring, but I have a company that I have started where I would like to inform and educate urban children on considering STEM careers in under the agricultural realm. So I am trying to use AI to help me develop my planning for the workshops. And I started playing with it, but I need to build my confidence in it, and I need to know that I'm doing it right. And I want to be able to generate my own images. Uh, I have written a book, and I want to do subsequent books, but I want to be my own illustrator. So I'm trying to see how AI can help me do all these. Thank
Okay. Well, yeah, you and I could have a long conversation. I've been working the last 3 summers with Eastern Star Church here on the east side
you.
with fourth through sophomores. Um, last summer we did some virtual reality, some STEM related stuff, and this summer we taught them with AI, and it was pretty interesting to watch how quick our how quick the next generation picks it up. I mean, they and I hope this doesn't offend anybody, but I really believe that they come out of the womb with a cell phone, with a smartphone today. And it is so funny because they're quick as whips. They just and we actually ran out of stuff for them to do a couple times. So, but I have some ideas. I've got some tricks I've used. And if you want to set up a meeting with me and have a conversation, I'd love to do that. Share what I've got. Um, share what I've got with you, and if that helps, then that's a good thing. So, and if not,
Thank you. I appreciate
wasted a half hour or so.
that.
So,
Thank you. I appreciate that.
sure. Okay, so, and I apologize about your last name. I got that. I was looking
Oh,
quick.
no worries.
Tabitha, how about you?
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Good evening. Just here to just learn more about AI. I work in healthcare and just want to see how AI can help in solving complex situations. So just here to learn more about AI.
What kind of healthcare?
I work for an association. So
From a what?
for an association.
Okay,
Yeah.
good, good. That is healthcare is near and dear to my heart, which somewhere during these next six sessions you'll find out why it's really near to my heart. Thanks for that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. I think I've got Shanita and Tiffany are the last two. So whoever wants to go first, you can arm wrestle for it. The dog back there.
Okay, I'll go first. Hello, good evening, everyone. I can't turn my camera on right now because you don't really want to see me right now. But but I am a, licensed radiographer. I also am a warehouse supervisor for Mayel Organics, Procter and Gamble division in Maryville. I am from Gary, Indiana. And the reason why I am, which actually Shanita subsequently alerted me to this even happening. So I'm on here because of her. But I would like to learn more about AI because I'm already dabbled in AI, and ultimately I would like to become an AI consultant. So it's a lot of things that I have learned under my belt, but I really want to enhance what I know and learn about the things I do not know. So I am all ears.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Thanks for that.
Mhm.
Tabitha, you're left. Shanita, we can't hear you. You're breaking up.
Trying to get on my. No, it's actually Shanita. This meeting is being recorded. I think I got my camera to work fine with. Hold on. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. Let me cut my camera on. Because I was trying to do it from my computer. So it's logging in as another person. I can't even see. All right. Hi. Hi, everyone. Just to let you guys know, I am the reason for everybody on this AI training. I used the partnership that I had with InnoPower to try to bring to our region technology and innovation as one of the goals for me is to create partnerships in the community that we can help advance each other. Can you hear me? Can you guys hear me?
You're good.
Okay. All right. So hold on. All right. I'm gonna take this one.
Okay. All right. So what we're going to do next is there we go. Hello, I can't even say it. Hermelinda, we're a child social worker. Okay. Thanks for adding that to the chat. That is helpful. So what we're going to do tonight is it's going to be a lot of just getting you set up and getting you organized. And a little bit, we're going to talk a little bit about what AI is. I'm very passionate about the democratization of AI. I think that let me say it this way. In the past, when big things came along, right? When big things came along like the internet or the IBM PC or um, you think back to, the automobile. right? All these things that are big that come up. It's always the rich and influential that get them first, right? It's not the poor blokes like me, right? And you who are we don't get them until it's almost commoditized, right? And so we live without it. And that means that our businesses, our organizations, and our lives are often um, to be improved, slower to be improved than, say, some other people. AI is that unique thing that has come around that it doesn't matter what zip code you live in, how much money you make, what your educational background is, who you know, who you work for, where you went to school, what sex you are or gender, what race you are, the color of your skin, the color of your hair, whatever kind of hat you're wearing. None of that stuff matters with AI because we can all use it. It's everywhere now. It's on your phone, it's on your music app, it's on your PC, it's on your TV when you're watching Netflix. It's everywhere. And so it's a very powerful thing to be able to have this opportunity to help democratize it, right? Or get it out so that everybody can use it. I've mentioned I've trained over 200 people. I've trained everybody from high school kids to fourth graders to, adults that are running profitable businesses to 80-year-old grandmothers. And it is a very powerful thing because the only limitation to AI is you. That's it. That's the only limitation. So, how fast are you going to embrace it? How can you use it? And that's what we're going to try and explore over these next 6 sessions. So, we've talked about this is the agenda for tonight. We've talked about our intro. I've talked about InnoPower, Hoosier AI 1000. We've all talked about why we're here. And so the tool we're using tonight, and we're gonna try and use every night, is this tool called Mentimeter. It's a tool where you're engaging with me as we go on this journey together. So if you could go either on your PC, your iPad, your phone, if you could go to menti.com. And when you get there, it's going to ask you for a code. And if you put in 296-903-98, then you'll be in Mentimeter. And I can see somebody's already drawn a nice, beautiful red line right here. So that tells me somebody's in. Okay. So here it is. If you want to use a QR code, you can use that to get to it. All right, you can just take a picture of it and go. So I give people an opportunity to get there. There's 2, 3, 4. 7. Good. Okay. Give it a couple more seconds and then we'll bounce on. All right. Now, if something happens, you should see when you come back in when you look at my screen again, if you get knocked out of Mentimeter, you just go back to menti.com and key that code back in. Okay. So let's bounce on here. So we've talked about why you're here. So what I'd like to talk about today, what I'd like for you to do is I'd like for you to go in Mentimeter. I'd like for you to answer, how often do you use AI via a chatbot? Is it you can't live without it? Never? Once a week? Maybe once a day? 5 times a day? or more than 20? And just guess, right? Give everybody a second here. This is getting interesting. So I'm guessing we got 5 people in. 8 out of 12. Give you another minute. Okay. So Patron, you can use with a QR code, you just open your phone, go to your camera, point it at the QR code, and give you it'll give you the link and you just click it. All right. So it looks like we've got a good spread and it's growing. Right. So interesting. So we've got a good spread, more than 20s, a few, and then yeah, okay. Good. We've got some people, a couple people, several people that say never. So we'll see how that goes. So the next question is this. What are your hopes about AI? Just a sentence about what you're interested in. Being able to keep up with the latest trends and developments. That it can help create faster and more effective ways to work and create. I hope to learn how to use it to save time. To become an AI consultant, I want to learn how to create a chatbot and AI twin to run some of my weekly activities. I'm interested in making anime. Oh, nice. I like this one. I'm interested in making animated projects involving Black history to teach students and adults. That's a pretty good one. While these others are coming in, yeah, that's a good one. Um, I spent some time with this summer and we were talking about STEM African American inventors. And it was pretty interesting to watch the kids go through and figure it out and realize that, some of the more important inventions around came from African Americans. So that was pretty cool. To continue to build my CJ Moneyway platform, podcasting, book writing, animated projects. I love this one. Want to learn and understand it. Heard so much negative comments about it taking over the world. Need to know what it's all about. Yeah. Yeah. The Terminator, right? iRobot. What was that? 2001: A Space Odyssey. It's another one. All right, let's go on to the next one. So I asked you about what you wanted to get out of it. Now I'm asking you, what do you fear? What do you fear about AI? Is it going to take over the world? Are you going to get caught cheating? Being left behind? Being left behind is um that was my reason to get in at the start, because I'm obviously at the end of the spectrum, right? Or the end of the spectrum's the wrong word. I'm at the end of my approaching the end of my journey. It can take control of actions without you directing the actions. Put my place in the workplace. That's a good one. That's a really good one. That's one we'll talk about. Privacy is being taken away. That's a good one. But I think privacy is already gone for the most part. That it will dehumanize our interactions. My fear is that AI will make people not seek knowledge outside of electronic means. It's a good one. That we would not use our brains as much. Yep. It can take with its capabilities of learning what will. Okay. So we have a lot of fears out there, right? And again, this is Chris Daly's view that $4.50 now would get you a cup of coffee. But, is it going to, let's talk about that for a minute. Is it going to replace us? Is it going to take over the world? Feel free to jump in here. Anybody.
I was the one who said I felt that AI might take over and not allow us to expand our own physical and intellectual capabilities. And I think sometimes in our quest to be, more efficient and cut out um, certain processes, we cut out part of our humanity ourselves. And I guess I just worry about, my grandchildren. What if one day, all of a sudden, we have no power grid? What if one day we don't have what we need even to make AI run? Then what? Um, I guess, I just we have the capability, obviously, we have the capability to come up with this type of technology. So, we're smart enough to do things on our own without it.
Yeah, agreed. Absolutely agree. That your concerns are why. Well, I'm kind of mixed. I'll just be blunt, Wendy. Um, on one side, I agree with you. I agree with you that it could reduce our um, ability to think and our ability to learn because we'll take some things for granted, right? We'll take the fact that it can write an email for us, so now we don't have to do that. So I hear that. The other side of it, though, is that um, the other side of it is that it could help us. So when I think about things like, okay, I'd hope to get past the first session without, saying too much, but think about healthcare. If a machine reads an X-ray better than a human, is that a good thing?
It is a good thing, but there may be some nuances that it may miss. And those are the things that you still need a human involved in order to utilize it the best way to do the job that you're asking it to do. We may be able to get it to run a plant completely by itself with no human interaction, but I doubt it because I mean, it has to have some human input. But I mean, I like you on both sides. I like that each time I do teach my class, I add something new. This time I tried to use my prompts and all the engineering I could think of to develop a shortcut packet for my students that I didn't have to spend hours and hours and hours of typing and research and everything. I put in exactly what I wanted, and then we have a conversation. My chat GPT has a name. His name is Martin. And sometimes Martin doesn't do what I want him to do, and I tell him about himself. So, like, that is wholly not it. Okay. So go back,
Right.
try it again. But then it is
Mhm.
learning, and it says, now, I'm so sorry, that kind of thing. And it's like, yes, I want you to learn this, and I want you to be able to reproduce this. But then it's not always exact I asked you to do this, I gave you exact thing, and you still added something to it. So where does that
Mhm.
come from, and what prompt do I have to give it to say, don't change it, besides don't change it, but still allow for the creativity. Those kinds of things in your prompt make a difference. And
Mhm.
prompt engineering is very important in order to get what you
Mhm.
want out of it. And I also don't want to sound like a machine to my students. I want it to
Exactly.
sound like me. Okay.
Mhm.
And so I see it from both ways. It's a good
Mhm.
and a bad.
Mhm.
Chris, I also want to add something. I'm thinking back 25 years
Mhm.
ago when we were fearing going into
Watch me.
the 21st century, what was going to happen with our electric powers, what was going to happen with the banks, and what was going to happen with all these things, because we didn't know, we didn't understand, and we had those fears. But when the new year came in and we didn't lose our power, and we could access our bank accounts, and we could do all these things, in the world didn't blow up or whatever, we then began to harness what the 21st century had to offer us from the 20th century.
Mhm.
And so I'm thinking that we're going to probably, do the very same thing. The more we understand it, we
Mhm.
can, as she said, tweak it and get things to happen that we're needing to happen, and not, because like I said earlier, I'm sometimes when I'm just typing a text message and not even looking at it, because I saw up top just what the word was. And then when I happen to read it later, there are some different words. It's like, how did it make that determination? What made it do something that I did not intend it to do? And so as we learn how to tweak this system and these abilities, then we can, I guess, have a partnership with AI that will benefit us all.
Mhm. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I feel like if we just stiff arm it and say we're not going to pay attention to it, it's going to get away from us. And
It will.
so one of the things you're going to get to do is for homework, didn't know there was homework in this thing, did you? There's one of the things you get to do is it's pretty easy homework. Um, but one of the things you get to do is you get to go watch a series of 6 videos, short videos, very, very short, a minute to 2 minutes across all 6. And it's going to talk about user-centered AI.
Mm.
And that is and I'm not sure who it was that said that they were a UX UI designer, but it's that, I mean, it's the same thing as that, right? It's you design your web pages, you design your apps so that it works for humans, right? We need to design AI so that it works for us. We need to have people in the middle for those critical decisions, right? We need to have that. Sometimes those decisions can go rogue on you, right? I'm sitting here today and I've got enough done. I said set it up and set automatic order on Amazon or not on Amazon, on Chewy. And I've got two 17-pound bags of dog food for a Cocker Spaniel that weighs about 20 pounds, right? We're going to be into next year easy before we get through all that. So I'm okay with that part of it. But when it comes to the real important stuff, I want a human involved. I want a human. We talked about x-rays a minute ago with Wendy. X-rays doesn't mean that the AI looks at it and says, oh, here's what we go do. And they fire off another robot to start cutting on you. You have a human involved, right? It comes alongside us rather than replacing us. For those mundane things that don't require a lot of ingenuity of thought, yeah, take care of that, right? Take care of that. Go ahead and do that stuff. But the part that is creative and that's us is, that needs to have a human involved. And I think for a while, at least for the next 10 years, we're going to have humans involved. And you're going to see a lot of crap. Pardon my French. You're going to see a lot of AI generated stuff. 60% of the internet is generated by AI, right? All we've done is we've taken people and things that generate junk and we've made them faster. So now instead of generating better junk, they're generating more junk, right? It's just filling everything up. So how do we get through that? Those are some of the things we need to think about and work through. So it's going to be an interesting ride. Let's go on to the next one. Got a couple more here. I think I'm clicking on the wrong screen. I'm clicking on my Zoom screen and that doesn't work. Here we go. So what's your profession in one word?
Oh,
People. That's a good one. Entrepreneur. Podcaster. Community. Writer. CEO. Visionary. Teacher. Podcaster. Thought leader. Creative empathizer. Okay. Good. Okay, so we're at the end of it. So it's 7:54. It is 7:54. So let's go ahead and take a quick 5-minute bio break. Give you 5 minutes, come back, and then we'll plow through because I'm going to start talking on this stuff. And when I start talking on AI, I don't shut up. So it's better, I think, for us to take a quick break and then we'll come back and we'll dig in. So I'll see everybody in 5 minutes.
alrighty.
All right. So before we get started, again, I was I did not see her join, but I wanted to go ahead and call out Blonde, who is sitting in this session. Blonde works with InnoPower with me and is my partner in crime for the most part. And she is here to remind us, A, she's here in case I need anything, and B, she's also here to make sure that we all get signed into the link that she put in the chat. We take attendance, and that way we make sure that we know what we can see things like how many people are dropping off, who's dropping off, those kind of things. And it helps us from a grant standpoint. So if you could take a few minutes and put your go ahead and click the link that she put up in at 7:37. And I have a feeling she'll be putting it in here again. That would be greatly appreciated. Okay, let me see do I have the link? Nope. Let me get it.
It asks for a checkout time, so we should wait until we get done or we leave to put that in and then submit.
No, just put in 8.
Okay.
Oh, she beat me to it. You're fast, Blonde. I was wondering if she was going to be able to put it in because it is currently, what time is it there? It's 1 a.m. where she is. So she's staying up late.
I feel it.
Well, staying up late. Okay. Thank you for doing that. So I'm going to go through this part fairly quickly because the slide, I want to get to the point where I want to show you InnoPower.ai and also our LMS where you'll pick up your video recordings. You'll be able to get copies of the slides. There's a ton of other information in there that I've created over the last 6 months that may be helpful, maybe not, but it's there for you. So I want to get to those and then also I don't want to let you off without giving you a piece of homework. So we'll try to get through this as quick as we can. So there's a lot of words on this slide, a lot of words for me. AI is AI is really about trying to make a computer think like a human. That's really what it's about. It's trying to get it so that it can think in a way that's similar to a human so that we can offload some of the things that we aren't good at. And so, some of the things it can do today, it can do visual recognition, right? It can go in and look at an image. You can take a picture of something and you can send it to AI, you can upload it to AI and it can tell you what it is. It can pull, if you've got a PNG, an image that maybe is an infographic that you lost the source on, right? You can't go in and change anymore. You can upload that image and it will tell you the words that are on there. I mean, that is powerful, right? I used to pay for a transcription service just to have them go through and get my videos and give me the text back, right? Give me the scripts. And now you can get that by just, you can get it almost automatically. You're all going to get a summary of this session that I have to admit I worked hours on, right? I worked very, very hard on getting this. I'm lying, right? Because Zoom does it for me. I don't have to do it. Blondley and I don't have to sit there and go back and, you know, try to go back through the video and type our notes. It's there for us. So it can do a lot of that for us. It can do some interesting things like speech recognition. Um, you, Jerry, you just asked, how do you sign in again? You sign in again by going to the menti.com and use the code up above. So it will do a lot of things for us. And
I don't
the
even know what to tell you. I can't even explain it. It makes a big difference. Okay.
You can't, sorry, say that again. Okay, maybe they'll come back to us. So AI will do a lot of interesting things for you, right? Just in the last year, a year ago, you used to, when you asked it for an image, it might give you six fingers, or it might on one hand, or it might give you, um, two or three arms. It might give you two arms going this way and one out the side, right? It would jumble up the words. It's moving so fast that it can go that they're already starting to fix that. They fixed a lot of that as we've gone. And you're to thank for that, right? When you go into chat, if you go into chat GPT and you use it, when it comes back with a response, if you click the thumbs up or the thumbs down, you're helping train it. You're telling them which is the better response. So you're actually participating in helping make it better. It will do things in it will do things like language translation. I will get into a tool called Synthesia, which will allow you to be able to generate um, it'll allow you to be able to generate language videos in different languages with different accents, with different avatars. I'll show you a video in a couple sessions where I have a just stunning young lady present, and I don't know who she is. I created it and she spoke. I've got avatars of me floating around where, that I use from time to time, where it's me talking. If you know me and you've listened to me talk a lot, you probably can tell. Most people can't. And it's in some cases, it's uploading a picture and they make the picture talk. So there's a lot of things that are going on with AI. You today have access to language translation. You can literally say, I would like to converse with you in French, and it will do that. You can say, take this text and convert it into Spanish. Is that valuable to anybody? Suddenly we can speak globally, right? I mean, English is the language that goes around the world. I've traveled quite a bit internationally. Most of the world speaks English when you're in tourist areas or business. A lot of people speak English, but just deny it when you go up and ask them. But English is kind of the language that works. What about a kid who comes into a classroom or an entrepreneur that comes in that can't speak English? What do? We have to get a translator. AI can do that. AI can help them. AI can help a parent who's troubled by homework, right? Yeah, I mean, even as an adult, I have a master's degree. I've studied calculus and all kinds of crazy math things when I was a software developer. I studied all that stuff. When my kids got into high school, I had a hard time with it. AI can help us do that. It can help us fix that. It can help us be better parents and give our kids an opportunity that they might not have had a few years ago. There are three types of AI, of intelligence. There's human, right? That's us. That's our brains. It's our mental abilities. There's traditional computing, which is predefined task. It's if then else is the way I describe it. If this occurs, then do this. Else do something. If it doesn't occur, do something different. Right? That's kind of the logic that computers are built on. It's all binary, right? It's either, I mean, it's lights on or lights off. A series of lights that they use we use to be able to turn language, to turn images, data into things that we can understand. And then there's AI, right? Which can perform a lot of the tasks, some of the tasks that a human traditionally is required to do because of the human intelligence. The scary part about the AI from an intelligence standpoint, it doesn't scare me from a creativity standpoint, but it scares me from a speed standpoint. When you think about data and how long it takes to go and step into a subject that you don't know and become proficient at, it's a heck of a lot faster than I am. Right? It makes me a lot smarter at that, or appear to be smarter till they meet me and talk to me, but it makes me appear to be smarter because I've got this wealth of information right at my fingertips. The problem is that now that I've got it at my fingertips, what do I do with it? And I'll use this phrase, an idiot with a tool is still an idiot, right? If you don't know how to use it, it's not going to help you. I tell the story all the time. My dad was a diesel mechanic and used to work on construction equipment. Big sites, right? Places where they had 15-foot high tires on machines. And I always wanted to get on one of those machines and do something. Right? I always wanted to get on a backhoe or a bulldozer and just play. What kind of damage could I do? Because I wouldn't know how to use it, right? I just jump on it and I can figure this out. Might run over a car, run over somebody, knock down an electric pole. Who knows what kind of damage I could do to the machine, myself, or to society as a whole, right? I'm an idiot with a tool, and I'm still an idiot. And that's what's happening with AI. What we want to do is we want to learn enough about it that we can use it proficiently, that we're not that idiot with a tool, that we're using it in a way that it comes alongside and makes us better, faster, and smarter. And I'll jump off my soapbox. So human intelligence, we learn from experience. We're pattern matchers, if you think about it. What's a pattern matcher? A pattern matcher is we look at something and we say, have we done this before? If the answer, or have we seen this before? Or have we heard this before? If the answer is yes, we know what to do with it. If it's not, we try to find something similar to it, something tangent to it, right? Something that's complementary to it, and try to take what we've learned and apply it over to this new situation. We're adaptable because we're able to learn for the most part. There's some people that don't learn, right? They keep doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results. But most of us learn and are adaptable, right? And we can think abstract concepts and ideas. I think of when I wrote this, I was thinking of I'd just finished reading some about Albert Einstein and how he did when he was he was a what was he? He was a patent clerk at the patent office, U.S. Patent Office, and he did some abstract thinking by doing mental simulations, right? Mental models in his mental experiments we can do that. We can be creative. Can machines? Not really, right? They really can't be creative. They've got to be told. They can't see the, it has to be in data. It has to be in rules right now. It's not abstract, which is for humans, that's one of our great strengths. When we talk about traditional computing, I'm going to be quick on this. It's binary logic. The heart of every computer is either, when you go all the way down to the bottom, it's either a one or a zero. It's either on or off, right? And that collection of ones and zeros, or on and off, is what is aggregated and aggregated and aggregated to give us, what we see today, what we know today to be computers and to be processors. It does really well at predefined tasks. We know what it's going to do. We know how it's going to do it. We just want it to do it. So artificial intelligence is learning from data. We're going to talk about machine learning and deep learning and all kinds of learning in these 12 hours we're going to spend together. It's all about learning from large data sets, right? It's all about going through and using that data to be able to understand what the patterns are. Ultimately, the goal for some is to have autonomous decisions based on algorithms, right? So you pull up your phone and you say, send a text. It takes your voice and turns that into data so that it knows to go pull up the text window on your phone, right? Being able to look at an email and determine automatically whether it's something you need to act on today, this minute, or is it something that can wait? Categorizing our emails. Is it junk? We're used to those algorithms being out there and working for us. And so we want to be able to make sure that as we go forward with AI and we increase how it thinks, we improve how it thinks, we want to be able to make sure that it is making the right decisions. Again, human-centered AI. The evolution of AI. AI's really started with Alan Turing in the 40s during World War II when he made the Turing machine. That was really one of the things that kind of opened, one of the great milestones that opened everybody's eyes, right? Artificial intelligence was defined as a term in the 50s. We didn't have these fancy computers we've got now, right? At the time, we had computers that were the size of this room, of the room I'm in, right? Took huge amounts of electricity, huge amounts of your data, the data that was stored was on records, literally platters of records, right? So like several records, think of LPs,
Reels.
stacked on top of each other. Sorry?
I said reels. Sorry, I should have muted.
Yeah, reels. You had reel tape, right? And my first job was putting a reel tape when I was in college, was putting a tape up, feeding it through, right? Getting it started, hitting the button, the window went up and it started reading it, right? We've come so far. In the 90s, when I went to college, I just was telling somebody this. When I went to high school, or I'm sorry, when I went to college, my graduation present from my parents was a typewriter because you didn't have a computer. They weren't around. You had an Apple floating around, but that was kind of it. That was kind of a toy. My first video game was Pong, right? With the dot bouncing back and forth across the TV. And so what happened then is we started evolving, right? We got electric, instead of using copiers where you printed the master out and you cranked it around and printed it, we had printers that actually you could put your piece of paper on it and it would scan it. We all thought that was great. And then came fax machines, right? Which took your image and sent it off around the world, right? And then we got to word processing and spell check coming along, Excel spreadsheets, networks, right? Up until um, around 2000, we had what you called sneaker nets, right? You literally took your data from one computer to another. I see Wendy smiling. She's probably lived this, right? So
Yes, yes.
around 2000, it was mentioned that we had the challenges in 2000 with the rolling over the millennium. And there was a thing there, and I'm going to spend a minute on this because I've always thought this is fascinating. We could not, being a part of that, we could not get all the work done. A lot of it started in 1995, 1996. We worked for 3 and 4 years doing nothing but fixing these archaic systems. And as part of that process, because we didn't have enough manpower, huge optical lines were run to places like India. And what happened is we outsourced a lot of those changes to folks in India. And then what happened? The data, we got past the Y2K issue. We still had those transmission lines, and there was a lot of capacity. And that allowed the internet to really, really start exploding. Around 2020, we started to hear about this thing called generative AI. We started to actually see it. In 2022, it came, Chat GPT, or 2023, sorry, 2023, Chat GPT came out, and it was all the rage, right? It was all the rage. Everybody had to have a Chat GPT subscription, $20. And there was a waiting list too on top of that. And it could do wonderful things. Things are progressing so fast now that within Chat GPT, for example, you can now generate images. You can now generate movies. You can go in and create spreadsheets and PowerPoints. ChatGPT can link through tools like Make, Zapier. You can go in and actually connect large language models, ChatGPTs, with other tools, right? Like Google Drive, Google Docs, um, you know, our CRM systems, our file management systems. There's all kinds of things now that you can connect the LLMs to, the chat GPTs. And it's only getting faster. There's a new thing called a model control processor, I think, an MCP server. It allows you to be able to sit down and be able to access interfaces through ChatGPT, where you can do it just typing a command now, right? You don't have to be hooked. You don't have to go through those Make or some of those other tools that are out there. And it's only going to get faster. There's a tool out there called HeyGen. You can create your own avatar that talks back to you. You could have a customer service person that looks like you, that sounds like you, that's available to talk to people. Now, I've done it. It's a little creepy, but I've done it. And it's where things are going. Are we going to be comfortable with it? If you go to there's a White Castles close to my house. You're talking they're using voice recognition now. You don't have anybody punching it in. You're not talking to a human. You're talking to a voice. You're talking to a computer essentially, right? And ordering your, 5 sliders and your onion chips. Where are things going to go? Where are they going to stop? Don't know, right? But it's going to be an interesting ride for sure. So generative AI, what is it? It is, I think of generative AI as being, it gives people, you give it, you ask it something and it gives it back, right? It's very interactive. It's an interactive type of tool. It learns from large data sets and then you can use it to create unique content. So what are some of the data sets that it uses? What's the biggest data set in the world? Or source of data, let's put it that way.
Google.
Close. The internet,
Oh, well.
right?
Mm-hmm.
The internet.
Right.
When you say Google, I'm thinking Google search, but you think about the internet. How many websites are out there? How much traffic is out there? How many PDFs are out there that are just buried out there? You know, how many document repos, how many websites have images that are available, right? Of paintings and of whatever, right? How much copyrighted materials out there that shouldn't be out there? There's a lot, right? So AI has they've taken this data that's publicly available. Some of it's probably not supposed to be publicly available, and they've trained it. They've used it to help, build these AI models. So machine learning is another field of AI. It's another subset. And basically, I mentioned pattern matching. So machine learning is where the computer is going through and doing the pattern matching. It's looking for it's looking for those patterns. And then it can use those, it kind of over time learns what those patterns are and what the next thing is. For example, Mary had a little
Lamb.
lamb, right?
Mm-hmm.
How did you know that I was thinking that?
Well, it's a popular nursery rhyme, so obviously people have heard it. So you know what it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. So in your brain, you know Mary had a little lamb as a pattern. So
Mm-hmm.
when you look at that, you look at Mary had a little, you're looking for that next piece, right? You're looking
Mm-hmm.
for lamb. And so it's that's what the computer's doing with machine learning is it's looking for those patterns. And it's using those patterns to make predictions. Just like Wendy predicted that I was looking for lamb, right? The machines do the same thing. So deep learning is another term. Deep learning is neural networks. And a neural network is basically how our brain works, right? It's a series of processors that all work together to try to figure out what to do with this data, figure out what the data is, and then how do we respond. So it's very much so they've used us humans and how we think and how our brains are constructed and how the electrical signals fire to be able to develop what they call neural networks. The idea too is with a neural network that if one node goes down or doesn't find the answer, you might have another one that does. So when you think about neural networks, now you can start thinking about quantum computing. Quantum computing is you're thinking about multiple scenarios at the same time, right? You've got multiple things going on at the same time. And so deep learning and neural networks allows us to step into quantum computing. So what's narrow AI? Why is narrow AI here? Narrow AI means we're going to take this big, massive data set, the internet, and we're going to narrow it down to a very, very small slice. And we're going to give it what we call context.
Mm.
So you could say, I could sit down today and say, right, give me 10 math questions. It's going to give me 10 questions. Are they going to be the questions I'm looking for? I doubt it. Right? So what are we going to do? We're going to say, okay, give me 10 math questions on how to calculate the area of a triangle. My audience is seventh graders. It's going to give us it's going to give us a series of, it's going to give us those math questions. If we're talking about social studies, give me 10 questions on the fall of Rome for 10th graders. And I want 7 to be true, false. I want 3 to be multiple choice, and I want 1 essay. And it will give it to us, right? Take that again and say, okay, take all that stuff I said about the fall of Rome and add one more thing into it. Make the questions in French, right? Make the questions in Spanish. What used to be really hard for us to do is now becoming very simple. Not simple, but it's easier because we can do it in a way that makes sense. This past spring, I worked in Lafayette. I had a trainer there who was training migrant workers, spoke Spanish. Some of them spoke no English, right? Having the ability to translate our materials into Spanish was very powerful. Um, they could see, they could read them, they could follow along. One of my tech geeks who used to work here created a thing that popped up on a screen that did live translation into Spanish so that they could follow along, right? Narrow AI says we're going to take that and we're going to narrow it down. We're going to give it context. We're going to ask it to perform a specific task for us. I want to be a teacher. I want to be a teacher in Gary, Indiana, in 4th grade, and I want you to come up with this, right? And it will do that. I want you to give me a strategy for the semester on working on having the kids work on the fall of Rome or on the Civil War or on slavery or on the equal rights, right? On equal rights or discrimination, whatever it is, we now have a tool that will do that for us. And it will do it in a very interesting way. Saying that, it can be wrong. It can, because we're using publicly available data, it can get data that is bad, right? Not necessarily bad data, but it can get data that shouldn't be in there. It's not appropriate. And we'll talk about this in another session, but things like bias get in there. Whether it's bias of race, gender, education, geographic, any number of different things can get, where you live can get that bias is all in the internet. It's all in the data sets. And so we have to train it out of it. And so we need to be aware of the fact that when we're using AI, that it does have a bias. And so we need to make sure, I ask it all the time to remove my bias as a technology person, right? Because I come in and I've got biases because I've been doing this for 40 years, more than 40 years. And I can guarantee you what we're going through right now, I've seen at least 3 times in my career, right? So I have to remove my bias of, I don't know why why people are getting their, getting in a uproar about it, right? This is another phase. We're going to get used to it. We'll pass on, right? I have to remove that bias. I have to remove the bias of, well, I'm an old guy, right? What used to be okay is now not okay for great reasons, right? But I didn't know any better then. Now I do, but I have to make sure that that bias is removed. And we need to make sure that the AI's bias is removed. So we can ask AI, for example, to look at yourself, look at this output and tell me if there's educational bias in this or education or, um, career bias or racial bias in it. We can ask it to do that and tell us, and it can, when you set it like that, it will go back and it will attempt to do that. It will come back with answers and suggestions, right? I use AI a lot to create rubrics, which those of you that are teachers know exactly what a rubric is. But now we can expand rubrics to presentations, to documents, to books we write. Um, and it's a very powerful tool for that. Let's see. NLP. All right, this is one of my favorite things to talk about. So, what is natural language processing? This means the bloody computer can talk to me, and I can talk to it and it's good. We're going to communicate in a language that I want to talk in, not click this and do that and write code and all that other stuff I've done for years. Now I can talk to it, right? And it will go through and it can take text, my text, and it can classify it. And it's got real world applications. I'm creating Emil will kill me for saying this, but I'm gonna say it anyway. I'm creating an AI studio to help parents of students so the parents can help the kids do their homework. And so what happens when it's a Spanish family, right? What do they do? Do you have them or maybe it's an older person, right? Maybe they're with grandma and they're living with grandma and grandpa. And what do they do with, does grandma and grandpa necessarily know how to use AI, right? Put voice recognition in it, right? So now grandma and grandpa can talk to it and make it so that not only can grandma and grandpa plug the problem in and work on it, have it give an answer and suggestions and things like that, but it can also explain it to grandma and grandpa, right? So that they understand what it's doing. Haven't got vision in it yet. Computer vision means the computer can see, so it can so it can read this card, right? Haven't got that far yet with it. That's my next thing. But being able to do that, right? Imagine the applications that you can build. Imagine what you can do if we take away having to be digitally literate and make it so that people who maybe don't have access to AI, don't have access to powerful computers, what if they could use their phone? What if they could use AI? What if they could use their iPad? How does that change the dynamics of education? How does it change the dynamics of business? Those are the kind of things that I'm really excited about with NLP, right? Natural language processing. It is, to me, it's going to be very, very interesting. So when I say NLP, I'm also saying, not only verbally, but writing in text, right? I can write in text in my language, in the language that I'm used to, right? Very straightforward, no BS, don't have time for fluff, right? That's the way I talk. So it can understand me. It can understand Kathleen, who's in Gary, Indiana, I believe, right? You're in Gary. There are nuances, there are differences. It can understand you. It begins to learn how you communicate. You and I both communicate differently, right? It learns the way you like to communicate. And so it can respond back in that way. And what that does is it also makes this, it opens up the possibility, and I hope I live long enough to see this. It opens up the possibility that we can meet kids and adults, we can meet everybody for that matter, where they're at rather than trying to say, you've got to be here to start,
Mm-hmm.
right? How powerful would that be? How big of a game changer would it be? It would mean that you don't have to live in an affluent neighborhood to be able to go forward. You could live anywhere, a kid in the projects, a kid in not only projects, a kid in rural, I can't even say the word, rural Indiana, right? The farmers, which I used to be one, I used to live in farm country. The farmers have the same access that the kids that are in urban centers and in well-to-do charter public or private schools. We've all got the same access. How big of a game changer is that? How big of a game changer is they've got access to those resources? Sorry, I'm on my soapbox again, but I'm pretty passionate.
Makes it makes things
Right.
equitable, not equitable. Everybody's standing on the box they need to stand on to see over the
Yeah,
wall.
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And let me give you I know this is, I gotta watch my time. Let me give you a quick example. Not this past summer, but the summer before, I did an AI program where we brought 85 kids in and we trained them for 24 hours on AI. And then we gave them a 76-hour internship paid.
Mm.
And we had them work on projects that we took in from the community. The kids that were from the worst zip code in Indianapolis took them 4 days to catch up
Mm.
to the kids from the most affluent area, Carmel,
Mm-hmm.
who had everything, right? Took those kids 4 days to catch up. How did they catch up so quick? AI talked to them in their language. They used it the way that they were comfortable, not some way some bureaucrat
Mm.
decided and forced it down their throats. And they did amazing. They did amazing work. And so I've said this before, I'm not too worried about our kids. I'm more worried about us, right?
Mhm.
How are we going to adapt and how are we going to keep up with the kids? How can we help them do to change their stars, right? To change their lot in life by giving them new capabilities. So tokens, I'm going to talk about tokens real quick. Hopefully I'm getting close to done. Tokens are basically, remember I said we do patterns? Tokens are basically when it finds a pattern, that's a token. It could be half of a word, it could be several words,
Mm-hmm.
right? Um, and I think of tokens like this. You have a desktop, a blank table. It's a certain size. And if you start putting pieces of paper, if you start getting paper and you start putting pieces of paper and you start working on crafts or whatever it is, you can only have so much stuff on your desk. And then something falls off. But you don't know that it falls off. That's what happens with context. You have so much space in AI workspace that you can use. And when you fill it up, it doesn't tell you. It just kind of drops it off the end. And so what happens is it will do, it will do, it's one opportunity for it to hallucinate.
Mm-hmm.
What's hallucinate mean? Hallucinate means it makes it up.
Mm.
Right? For lack of a better word, it
They'll
makes
do
it up.
that.
It makes whatever the text is, whatever the context, whatever assumptions it wants, it just makes it up. It can do that also when it doesn't have data. when it's got something unique that it hasn't done before, it will sometimes make it up. And you can Google, you can Google it and find cases where lawyers have been. One lawyer in Florida was almost disbarred because his legal assistant, his clerk, basically used AI to generate a brief and didn't check the cases that it cited, as proof,
That's how
and
I
they
catch
were all made up.
all the time.
So you got to be careful with that. Augmented versus artificial. Augmented means it comes along with us. It comes alongside. Artificial operates on its own. Pretty straightforward. And that's the conclusion. Okay. So I got through all that. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do some setup stuff. Is that what I want right here? No, that's not what I wanted. Okay, so I'm gonna start you with, InnoPower AI. And you should have gotten an email from me. If you didn't, put your name in the chat, put your email in the chat, and I'll make sure you get one. InnoPower AI is this thing that was written by one of the most brilliant people I've ever known, me. Little plug for myself there, right? And what it is when we talk about democratizing AI, there's a lot of people that give lip service to this concept, right? We've taken it a step further. Emil Achior decided that we are going to give people access to AI, whether you can afford a $20 chat GPT or you can afford $3. We're going to give you access to AI. Okay. And that's what InnoPower.ai is. So you should have received an email inviting you to it. If not, you can go to it and you can sign up. So when you go to sign up, you'll see a screen like this. I'm going to go ahead and log in because I'm already a member. It's always embarrassing, isn't it? There we go. Okay. So I'm in, right? This is the landing page that you'll see. And you can just say get started. And what you'll see is we take you to our entrepreneur's roadmap. And this is a static page, just tells a little bit about what we're trying to do from an entrepreneur standpoint. I'm in the process of developing an AI studio to support entrepreneurs. We'll have some of the tools that are in this plus some others. So that's what this is about. There's some other things in here. You can take a look at them. What's interesting about this is we've done some interesting things. I've created an image maker, which means you can go in here and create images. So you can go in here and create an image of a cat playing with a ball of yarn, and it will give you an image. You can tell it you want you want stock photo of that cat playing with that ball of yarn. It will do that. So we've done that. And then down here where we talk about chatbot models, I'll expand that, scroll down. Here's a bunch of chatbots that you can have access to. Here's OpenAI. Here is older versions of OpenAI. Here's Grok. Here's Sonnet, Claude Sonnet. Those are the ones that I've got available right now. I'm looking to add a few more. And what you're getting here is you're getting access to essentially the chat GPT. So when I click on it, let me move this out of the way here. There we go. I click on it, I literally have a chat bot. So this one's OpenAI GPT-5. It's the smartest. It's the most current one that's out there that you can use. And you can say things like, write an email to Emil telling him happy Halloween. Don't have to punctuate it. Don't have to do anything. What? Let me try something else. Huh. Okay. Well, that didn't work. I don't know why that didn't work. I know why they didn't work.
Because you pay for this. Are you logged? Well, you are logged into you. Is that your?
There we go. Okay. I know why that didn't work. So, okay. So I got to fix that. OpenAI, that won't be hard to fix. OpenAI, we've evidently run up against our limit. So I'll have to go in and pay that. But you can go into these, right? And I'll do that tonight. Once we do that, you can go into these and use them as you see fit. You can use them for the class. You can use them for yourself personally. You can use them for your family, whatever you want to do with them, right? You will have up here, you'll notice that you'll have unlimited. Here's my plans, right? So I've set you up as a free member and should have unlimited access, which means you can ask as many things as you want. What else have I got?
Is that for the duration of the class?
Yes.
Okay.
And because I have a short memory, I haven't turned anybody off yet. So there's some other, so feel free to use that as you see fit, right?
Okay.
These are marketing tools I've created. So one of the things that we'll cover in the next 5 sessions will be the concept of how do you train the LLM to do it the way you want it? How do you make it be your voice? Right? That's a hard one to do. Not really. So how do we train it to do that? How do you train it to use the data that you know? Can you use it to access the internet? The answer is yes. So there's a lot of things you can go do. I've created a business tools here. Here's a few business tools. I've got some more that are coming. Business model canvas strategy guide, right? So you can learn about the business model canvas and you can go in and do different things with it. You can delegate. It'll step you through how to delegate your work, right? If you want. Custom email signature. What's your email signature look like? A prompt creator. Why would I have a prompt creator as a tool inside of an AI large language model?
So that it can translate what you're asking to language that the model understands.
Yeah, it goes in and it helps you fill in the blanks, right? You might say, give me an email on da 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 da. Give me an email resigning to my boss. And it will probably come back and ask you a series of questions to make sure you got tone and things like that, so that you get a prompt you run that will work for you.
Mhm.
So we've got that. Um, this conversations I'm particularly proud of. Um, as an educator,
Mhm.
how do you help kids understand history? Right? You can talk about it, but you can also say, right, I'd like to talk to Frederick Douglass.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
I'm going to spell Douglas wrong. There we go.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I've got an error problem here that I got to make sure we get our credit card updated. But that you can set those up to go do that, right? You can set that up to go and actually talk to a prominent African American or a prominent Liberian or a prominent Nigerian, right?
And then
So
you'll
those
actually see, I'm sorry, then you'll actually see their image?
no, you won't see their image, but what you'll do is you'll actually sit here and have a conversation with them.
Gotcha. Okay.
So that'll give you some of the ideas for the power of AI. Um, the other thing you got an email on is on you should have gotten an email inviting you to our course on becoming it's on the website becomeprompting.engineering.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So this is your study guide. This is your course. Northwest Indiana Hoosier AI 1000 cohort. You click it. You should be able to get into it. If you don't, let me know. If you can't, let me know. Here will be your recordings. So if you miss, you want to go back, I will be uploading the recordings to that. I'll upload the one from tonight in the morning. Here are all the slides. Right? So there are all the slides for you to look at. You can go, we went through this one and this one, democratizing AI and introduction. So you have access to all the slides. There's some study materials if you're interested in taking a certification test, I can point you in that direction. Here's your assignments. Your project is going to be to create a book or a document or a project using AI. Could be a video, could be a book, could be you're going to write a grant. I've had everything from books on hair braiding to Al Jolson to, how to help alcoholics to, I have one young lady that ended up writing over 1,000 pages on her family's history going back in time. So you'll need to come up with a topic and an outline. We'll talk more about that next week on Thursday. There's additional resources here on prompting, on publishing on Amazon, some other interesting things. Here's some more on image generation. Some of you said you wanted to be better at that. We're going to cover it, but here's a bunch of material that I put together for that. Yeah, I think that's everything. Oh, this example prompts. I put some example prompts out here. You got kids and you want to do coloring book pages. Here you go. Here's pencil drawings, product mock-ups for those of you that are entrepreneurs. A prompt creator, we've already talked about that. You can copy this. Um, You can copy this and create your own custom GPT if you wanted to. Job creation simulator for those of you in workforce development, right? You can take your job advertisement and it'll go through and it'll start asking you questions about it. No sense not being prepared for a job interview. And there's a bunch more. So your homework is your homework will come. It's going to be a quick page. It is basically to go find a couple things, one thing in each, the become prompt dot engineering, which is our LMS. That's where all your files are. And another one in Chat GPT in the InnoPower.ai. So you got a couple things to do, and I will send that out as soon as we get off the call to you. I'll send the slide itself. I was going to send it anyway, so you can go through and do that. Yeah, and that's pretty much what I got. So it is 9 o'clock. I don't want to keep anybody past their bedtime. I say that tongue in cheek. I just got back from the UK. My wife and I have been going to bed at 8:30 some nights. So,
Okay.
that's great.
Thank you.
One thing you might think about is Shanita still here?
Yes, I am.
So one of the things you might think about is one of the things that worked really, really well for us in the Hoosier AI 1000, and given your geographic um, distance from us, we created a group in WhatsApp and invited everybody in the cohort so that they could text, communicate back and forth.
Okay, I'll create that for us. So, okay.
Just a thought. And if I can help you in that, please let me know. Glad to.
Okay, good. Can you hear me?
No,
Can you hear me now?
no,
Can you hear me now?
yes.
Yeah, I'll create that for us. I think that's the goal, is for us to stay connected in this region, and so we can start expanding and supporting.
If
the
you
growth.
could, if you could include me in that way I don't want to butt into your group at all, but it makes it a little bit easier for everybody to just ding me and say, hey, need help with this or whatever. So,
All right, so we need the wizard. So yes, we need the AI wizard.
I'll have to find that person.
But you are that person. So I mean, you have the numbers, so you might create it, and we be a part of it. But we'll get it together. I need your support on that one because I don't have access to all the numbers and everything.
Yeah.
So, okay.
The other thing would be just, and we'll do this on Thursday, is I'll ask this on Thursday. Think about whether you would utilize office hours. So I'm more than willing to do office hours if your group would like. And by office hours, I mean I would pick a couple times a week and be just sitting there. And if somebody shows up and's got a question on the class, on AI in general, or they've got a business problem they're trying to solve with AI and they want some help. So y'all think about that and let me know if that's something you would like for me to do. I love doing it because
I would like to ask a question on how did this get out? Uh, did it get out to how did this get advertised to be a part of this?
I can explain it. It's that Emmett.
Yes.
Hi, Emmett. This is Shanita. It was through a partnership that I had with Indianapolis through InnoPower that I kind of researched opportunities for us to get connected to technology. So it was through my efforts to get this and support it. So this is the first cohort. Like you guys are part of the first cohort, but we're going to try to expand it to other people. I used my Rolodex of people that I knew
Okay.
within the group to spread the information. I did not put it into the masses yet because I'm trying to control how this is going to be rolled out. Because each one of us, I would hope
Okay.
will be part of the movement of making AI and technology a part of our community. So right now,
Okay.
that's how the initiative came because I had a partnership with InnoPower from some other activities that we did, and I asked him could he partner with Gary or Northwest Indiana and Michigan, this region, to bring this to us. So I went shopping for us. That's how it came about.
Okay. All right. Cause there's a lot of people, that I just say, wow, this would be, you know,
Awesome for, yeah.
yeah,
So
and
you,
for the whole, because even entities, because I know even at the library, it used to be a young lady that taught uh computers, introductory computer work, and so that's just why I'm just wondering why uh, isn't was the masses, because I work with churches really, churches and government entities, and that's what I was just wondering. But I understand.
yeah. So you will be part of the next outreach. So all of us will be trained the trainers in that component. So for those who are able to get it, reach it, and share it, then that's what showed up today, right? But
Okay.
for the future, we can start seeing who's in our churches, who's in our community that can take advantage of this, so we can grow the next cohorts and the next trainer. So this is our way or my way of seeing how I could partner with Indianapolis through InnoPower to bring resources to the community. So this is just one stop. It's some other things that I'm working on that you guys don't even know me yet, but bringing technology into our community is number one, and I'm appreciative that they allowed us to piggyback off of them and to grow from it. So get ready, Emmett, for your list. I'm glad you I hear that you have see the value in this, but that's kind of how it went out. I didn't do a mass springboard. I sent it to people. I said they could share it, but at the end of the day, how far it went for this cohort, because it was really kind of the time frame was there. That's how we got it. So I'm
All
glad.
right.
So next
In my
class,
newsletter.
huh?
So
Put it in my newsletter.
so let me just clarify something. This at the end of this program, you will not be a master trainer.
No.
This is just the intro. There's another 12 hours of AI and another, if you haven't, if you're not an educator, we have you go through another 24 hours of facilitation to because you can't just show up and be. My experience is you just can't show up and one day say, wake up one day and go, I'm going to be a trainer. It doesn't work that way, right?
No,
Just like the
I
teachers,
agree.
right?
Right.
I
Absolutely.
totally agree with
Yeah,
you.
so this is just the beginning, just for you guys to know. I saw the value in this, and for us to make the commitment, starting on the ground floor together, we can help support a ground floor effort of individuals who want to be in AI or
Okay.
who want to do it. So it starts right here, but it is another commitment if you want to take it to the level where you are fluent in it and you can help with this technology movement for us in this region.
I'd like to also just add that you got me tonight because, um, and you probably have me again on Thursday night because we have commitments. But I have a whole team. I've got a whole team of trainers that will start showing up and will participate and will even lead a majority of these sessions. And they're folks just like yourself, right? So they're people that have come along. We've trained them. We have a lot. It doesn't seem like it, but we have a lot of experience with, um, going through and building out this type of training. And so we want to, being InnoPower, and Emil will say this, we're not charging for this, right? We're doing this out of the goodness of our heart, not really the goodness of our heart. We want to do it because it's the right thing to do, right? We've got this knowledge and this thing that we understand, and we want to get out and get it into the communities, get it into the churches, get it into the schools so that it can go, because it's the great equalizer, right? Emil's beating on me every single day, it seems like, going, you got to speed up, you got to speed up. This thing's getting away from us. And it is going fast. But we really want to make sure that that people everywhere have the opportunity to go and use AI and use it effectively. And that's why when he and I talk about the price of, InnoPower AI after the class, it's like we're talking $6 or $7 a month, right? You get access to all those GPT models, right? You get access to all those other things. And yeah, so anyway, I keep jumping on my soapbox. It's probably because it's late, but sorry.
Okay.
I'll put my number in the chat, you guys, so that you can reach out to me at your leisure. So I put my phone number in the chat.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks everybody for putting up with me for a couple hours, and we will see you again on Thursday.
Good night.
Good night.